I'm here with 11 head football coach Mike Hathaway. Coach, nice way to end the season against Gardner.
Absolutely. Any win against Gardner is a good win. That's a tough, tough team, football town, and you go up into Gardner and get one. You got to feel good about it. So,
I said, I think I told you that the last time we were talking. My family's all from there. That's
right.
where I was born, and you go. My Uncle Rosie's still going. He's 90 years old.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys sitting on the fence at Gardner that are there every year, and one of the cool things that happens really every year we play them. If you kind of go back in time a little bit to kind of the 08, 09, 07, that was kind of when Gardner first moved down to B, and us and Gardner we were the top of the league really at that time. It was a pretty good back and forth for 3 or 4 years, and there's a guy who was on the chain gang for Gardner at the time, older gentleman. We call him Big Red because he always gave all the coaches a stick of Big Red gum. So when we came into the field, walking down the other night, he was waiting on the corner. He wasn't doing the chains, but he was waiting on the corner in a truck and gave us all a piece of gum on the way through. So, stuff like that you see at some of these places you get to go a lot. Those things are cool that you remember. So.
No, they really are. There's people in town that it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
And, sports is an escape.
Yep,
nice
absolutely.
Any kids that played particularly well against Gardner?
Yeah, one thing is we play great defense. The whole defense played well. We've had, like everybody else, we're battling a few injuries, and we had some guys that were out or one-way guys. So, we had sophomore Isaiah Bames started at nose tackle for us and played. Just absolutely lights out. Cole Melanson, we've worked him. He's normally our nose. We've worked him a little bit at linebacker. So. Because we thought Gardner was going to run a lot of power I, we kind of had a heavier set in there with him at backer and Bame at nose, and that was pretty good. So defensively, we're real pleased. They threw quite a bit at Deshaun Calder, and Deshaun, turned everything away. He had a tremendous game in the secondary against the pass. Cam Jordan had, I think, 3 sacks. He was all over the quarterback all game. He was all over the field. So a good effort on that side of the ball. Deshaun also slid in a tailback this week a little bit. We needed a little bit more depth there, and so he got a few carries out of that spot. Ran the ball pretty well there too, so a good game for him. Offensively, we kind of struggled to run the ball a little bit. The wet track wasn't necessarily great for running up the middle, especially when you're in the middle of the field, and Gardner's defense isn't great for running up the middle either because they're good. Appleby 88, the DT in there, and 34 Spencer. Those guys are tough guys. They gave us a hard time inside, and then Mayhew out on the edge was a little bit of a problem, but I thought we did a pretty good job with him. But we really had to throw the ball probably more than we anticipated on the wet field. Wyatt had a great game. He threw for 200 in the first half. I think in the first half he was 12 for 16 or something like that. He actually threw 3 touchdown passes on the first drive because we had 2 called back. But he, probably his best game of the year, to be honest. He, really did a nice job both in and out of the pocket, made some great throws. Damian Calder caught 2 touchdown passes, ran for another one. And then, offensively in the second half, we kind of ran the ball a little bit more and we huddled more than we normally do and tried to kind of grind the clock and get the game over with because we were up 4 scores. So the O-line did a better job in the fourth quarter. We figured out a couple things and a couple plays that we had that were nice. So we're pretty pleased. Both sides of the ball, things we can do better, but a lot of things that went well. So,
do your kids treat the playoffs different than the regular season? Is there an attitude difference there? What's it look like?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not a ton. To me, if you have to turn it up for the playoffs, then, what have you really been doing the whole year? I don't think, I know from my perspective, I don't think there's a week when I could watch more film than I do, or prep harder for practice than I do, or whatever. So, and I think the kids are the same way. They're going to watch the same amount of film all week as they have. They're going to practice with the same focus as they have all week. I think what you see is on game day, the concentration level is just at a little bit of and the intensity level is a little bit of a higher mark than it is in the regular season. The kids are a little more keyed up. Sometimes it leads to more mistakes, honestly, early in the game. Sure. So I think getting our kids to relax and just really concentrate on playing good football and and having good technique. That's what we're trying to do. But our week of practice really hasn't looked any different. We're doing the same things.
So the end of the week, do you still do the same, if you have a breakfast? I don't know if you do or not, but do you do the same things that you do in the regular
Yeah, we have a
season?
team dinner every Thursday night, so we'll have that again tonight. Tonight here, actually, it's harvest supper night here tonight. So the whole community's out, and the team goes to the dinner, and it's kind of a nice event here at Levitt, big fundraiser for our project grads. So we'll still do that, and we're still going on, and we're just going on like it's a regular week, really.
Tell me about Lake Region. What do you see from them?
Yeah, they had a big win against Shakopee a couple weeks ago where they put up a lot of points. They played Freiburg last week, and Freiburg's a pretty good team and got after them pretty good. But you go back a couple weeks ago, they played Yarmouth pretty tough, and Yarmouth's a team that's come on pretty good here at the end. Should have beat Cape really last week. Cape made a great play at the end of the game to win it, but that was certainly anybody's game. So. The quarterback is, shifty. He can run. He can throw. It's kind of like White. He's a smaller kid, but he's got a pretty big arm. He can get the ball down the field a little bit. And they have a couple of athletic receivers as well. So they really try to spread you out. A lot of 4 wide, a lot of trips. A lot of quarterback runs. Some 3-step throws, and then some 4 verts and things like that. So we're trying to get our secondary ready. And get some of our our blitz package ready to put some pressure on those guys and do that. And then defensively, they're in 4-3. They fly around pretty good. They blitz a lot. They get a couple of big DTs inside. So we'll see what they can give us on Friday.
You're used to being near the top, and a lot of times, especially the opening round like this one, you play a team that there's a reason they're 8th.
Right.
Do you do any short-term goals during the game to make sure your team focuses? Because no matter what we say, the kids look at the paper and they look at the heel points and they know.
Yeah, no, we were real honest with our kids on Monday when we watched the film. They're going to watch the film too, and we know where they are. We know that we should win. That's the expectation when you're the 1 seed and you're playing the 8 seed. But we've got some goals there that we want to accomplish. But one of our goals every time is to start fast. So we plan to come out and do some things that we've normally done every game to make that happen. But I think that's a big thing. When you're the favorite, the longer you let the other team hang around, that's when things start to get a little dicey. And we've been through that before. So we reminded the kids in 2012 we beat Belfast in the regular season 42-0, and we played them in the playoffs and they beat us 21-20 right here. So that was a 2-7 game. So. Those things happen, and they happen if you don't prepare well and if you're not ready on game days. So, we tell our kids all the time too. It really doesn't matter who's in the other locker room. If it's a game and it's a playoff game, you're playing to win. Like if you don't win, you're packing your stuff up. So, we don't want to be that team doing that. So we're pretty focused on those guys.
Well, I know last time we talked, you talked about seniors, letting them know, hey guys, we're on a countdown here. Every one of these could be the last one.
Yeah, we talked a little bit, last week about how things have an expiration date, and that was like you look in the fridge and you look at the milk and there's an expiration date there. Well, it's the same thing in your high school football career, and when you get close to the end of it, those seniors that they're real focused and they want it, and you want to make sure that the other kids realize how important it is to those kids. And quite honestly, some of the most upset kids I've seen at the end of seasons are kids who aren't necessarily seniors, but they cared so much about their senior teammates, they didn't want to see them leave on a loss.
Sure.
And, we've got some kids that are like that. Our kids care a lot about each other. They spend a lot of time together. They work out a lot together. Certainly the guys who are coming back, I think they know that we've got a good future, but I don't think any of them are looking ahead. I think they all want to see the 7 seniors that we have walk out of here with a championship.
Oh, only 7. Yeah, it's my one thing that I don't like about a tournament is there's only one team that wins at the end, and everybody else goes home a loser.
Yep.
And sometimes if you have that team that starts slowly and they end up not making the playoffs, but they won their last 5 games, they end up feeling like they're on top of the world.
Right. Yep. And I think a lot of things too. You get into the playoffs and the hot team is. That's hard to stop, and I don't think Freiburg's lost since week 1. So, there's a hot team there. Yarmouth has really come on as of late. Cape's had a better record in the second half of the season. Gardner, if they can figure out some things offensively, their defense has been hot lately and playing much better. So that
It's going to be a good division, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I think a lot of people are saying it might go as it should or whatever, but I've seen plenty of playoffs where everybody says that and it doesn't. So I remember one year we were in the North and the Final Four. I think Waterville was the top seed left, and they were like the 4 seed, and they ended up hosting the Northern Maine Championships. So you never know how things are going to go. So you gotta put your work in.
Well, Coach, thanks. Good luck.
I got to mention one other thing. We've been doing this every week, and I told my kickoff team that I would give them some love this week. Our kickoff team has been absolutely amazing all year. Kickoffs, if you've watched Levitt football for a long time, have been a problem here. We traditionally have not had a great kicker. We've had a couple of good ones, but traditionally have not been real good there. Stephen Gray has been phenomenal as a kickoff guy for us, and most years this doesn't happen. We've pretty much had the same 10 cover guys all season. Oren Shaw, Keegan Melanson, Mark Herman, Rufino Driscoll, Ashton Gray, Bradley Moreau, Logan Gerard, Garrett J. Bush, Deshaun Calder, Damian Calder. Eddie Kern's been in there a little bit too. He was a guy that was back and forth, and Jaden Banks, a freshman, helps us out a little bit there. He's the other sub. But that's special teams is important going into the playoffs, and those guys have been great all year. So I wanted to give them a shout out there.
Great. All right, Coach.
All right,
Good
thanks,
luck,
sir.
and I hope to see you next week.
Sounds good.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live at Levitt High School for the Class C South quarterfinals between the top seed Levitt and the number 8 seed Lake Region, the Hornets versus the Lakers on this Friday night. My name is Aaron Morse alongside former Levitt head coach Pete Higgins, bringing you all the action here this evening as Levitt had another tremendous year. They were 7-1 to earn the top seed in Class C South. Meanwhile, Lake Region went 2-6 on the year, but finished stronger than they started, certainly winning 2 of their final 4 games after initially having some rough go of it, losing their first 4 of the season. So Lake Region versus Levitt here at Levitt. And first of all, Coach, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And tell me a little bit about, you're very familiar with Coach Mike Hathaway and this program, having coached here for many years. So what are some of your thoughts on where he's taken it in the last few years from your point of view?
Well, Mike continues to do what he has done well right along. He's promoted from the beginning a good feeder program, and he's reaping the dividends, of his own hard work at this point. No one works any harder, and no one's any better prepared. And if there's anything that needs to be done, he finds the way to get it done. So, and his staff is really without match. There's probably 3 former head coaches on the staff that help him along the way. And it's just a community thing with Mike. He's just done a great job.
And you coached him when he played here, right?
When he was at the middle school.
At the middle school?
He played for me at the middle school, that's correct.
What was he like as a player?
What's that?
What was he like as a player?
Serious.
Yeah.
He didn't joke around.
Right.
And he tried to get everything he could out of whatever situation he was in. He wasn't a slacker or anything like that. He just worked hard, and he's where he is because he has worked hard.
Reminder, this is the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth that we're calling the game from. It's the MBR Game of the Week between Levitt and Lake Region. On the radio side of things, this is the CMCC and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more as we count you down to kickoff, scheduled for 7 o'clock here tonight as the playoffs are underway here in Class C South. Back in a moment here on Maine's Big Z and the video feed at MBR.com. MBR.org.
The 18th annual MBR All-Star Weekend takes place November 17th and 18th at the Augusta Civic Center, presented by Spectrum Healthcare Partners. The weekend consists of the best high school basketball players throughout northern and southern Maine, squaring off from 6th grade to 12th grade. Boys and girls, get signed up now. Find more information at mainebasketballreport.com or at mbr.org. November 17th and 18th, you'll be able to watch the live stream of those games as well at mbr.org. All presented by Spectrum Healthcare Partners.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
On the video side of things, welcome you back in as well. Of course, this is the MBR Game of the Week and the CMCC and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week as well. Class C South quarterfinals. Winner of this one will play the winner of Cape Elizabeth and York. The national anthem playing right now. Back in 30 seconds.
Hi, I'm Eric Brakey, running for U.S. Senate. I approve this message, and unlike my opponent, I don't have $5 million, so I'm going to have to talk fast. This is New Gloucester, where my family goes back 5 generations. This is my family business where we help people save money. In Augusta, I cut taxes and reformed welfare. We got to get Washington off our backs and create some more good-paying jobs. Keep our kids here in Maine. Fix health care. Local control.
Eric Brakey won't slow down, and he'll never stop fighting for Maine. Vote Eric Brakey November 6th.
And you just heard the national anthem finish up here. We are live in the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth here on Maine's Big Z 92.7 and on video feed at mbr.org. You can watch on the Facebook page, of course. Tyler, our cameraman, doing a great job getting everything set up here as we're getting ready to go. It's Leavitt versus Lake Region as the Class C South quarterfinals about ready to get started. Winner again, as I mentioned before, will be playing the winner of Cape Elizabeth and York. Of course, Cape Elizabeth made it out of this region last year to the state final, only to lose to MCI. Leavitt got upset last year by Gardner in the playoffs. I bet this team is very motivated to make a big run this year, aren't they, Coach?
Oh, they really are. Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think they learned from last year's experience?
What did they what?
Learn from last year's experience.
What did they learn?
Yeah, in the playoffs. I mean, what it takes.
Well, I think the kids probably learned that, you know, you don't overlook anybody, and I think maybe they were looking past them. I'm not sure, but, you know, it was a tough night to play football at the same time, so they'll be ready this year, guarantee you.
As the captains are meeting at midfield for the coin toss, Leavitt right here on the near side in their green uniforms with their white helmets. Lake Region has blue pants, white uniforms, and yellow helmets, mostly yellow, and some blue mixed in as well. Hornets and Lakers right now seeing who's going to get the ball to start this one. Again, Leavitt went 7-1 this year. Their lone loss was to Freiburg Academy, and that was much earlier, I believe.
About 3 games ago.
Yeah, a few games ago in their schedule as we're looking at both these schedules here. Yeah, Freiburg beat them back on October 5th, 13-0, but then they bounced back to beat Morse 49-14 and finished the year with a shutout of Gardner 27-0, so certainly finished the regular season on a high note. Meanwhile, Lake Region coming off a 42-7 loss to Freiburg. But again, they did have a big win over Sackley Valley, 68-6, and they also beat Gray New Gloucester this year. A rough year for Gray there over there, 35-12, as they ended up winless on the season. So Lake Region getting a couple key wins to make the postseason and taking on Leavitt, trying to pull off what would be a stunner, certainly, if they were able to upset them today, but obviously Leavitt has state championship aspirations. They've won it before here. This program, certainly they've been kind of bouncing back and forth between Class C and Class B based on population, right, basically?
That's correct, yeah. Correct, yeah.
So you think Class C is a good fit for them?
I think it's a great fit for them. I think they're going to do well there, and they're proving it out this year.
If folks tuned in, we had the interview with Mike Hathaway here during the pregame show. As Coach Dave Wing loves to interview Coach Hathaway because he's always very thoughtful and gives a lot of interesting answers, certainly about his program and his team. As Leavitt, you know, this is a team led by his Coach Hathaway's son, Wyatt Hathaway, a sophomore. What have you seen from him? What makes him so good at quarterback?
Very versatile. He throws the ball well. He scrambles. He's quick. He's tough. Smart back there, and there's really no downside to him. And he's going to get better. He's a sophomore, as you said.
So Lake Region's going to receive the opening kick from Leavitt here. Back deep for the Lakers is Brent Massey, number 6, on the far side of the field, along with number 24 in white, Isaac Rawson, back deep. So Massey and Rawson to receive this opening kickoff as Leavitt kind of huddling up right by the ball as we're getting ready to go here.
Muddle huddled.
It's like Stephen Gray, him with the very identifiable long hair, number 15.
He's been a pretty reliable and consistent kicker this year. Usually gets it down someplace around the 10, and it's usually quite high. So it gives the defensive team a good chance to get down there and cover.
So Gray, one of their captains, will boot it away, and we are underway in the Class C South quarterfinal. It's going to be bouncing at the 10-yard line and then fielded by Massey. Massey tries to cut it outside, but he has nowhere to go. First man there for Leavitt was number 34, Garrett Jabush, the junior, along with a host of other Hornets to bring him down. And not great field position at the 15-yard line, it appears, for the Lakers.
Well, that's the advantage of good hang time. You get good coverage around there.
Good coverage by the Hornets, and now the Lakers will have to go 85 yards marching down that field. No score, just underway in this first quarter of action. 11:52 to remaining in the first after the kickoff. Quarterback is Ethan McMurray.
Double slots.
And he's in the shotgun right away. As you mentioned, those 4 wide receivers, they put a man in motion. He takes a snap and will try to run it himself, and there is just nowhere to go that time for McMurray. Is bouncing up and fired up. It looked like big number 75, Riley Parmenter.
I think the expectation is that the quarterback is going to be running a lot.
And Parmenter was all over that one. They dropped him for a loss of about 2 on the play. Trips to the left and 5, well, actually looks like about 4 wides here. Trips to the left.
Yeah, got trips left, yeah.
They go the handoff this time, and again, there's just nowhere to run. That time it was the running back, Brent Massey, who returned the kick, and Massey had nowhere to go, so it's 3rd and long. So both these teams, similar style offenses, spread 4 wides typically for both these squads. Obviously, Leavitt has had a lot of success this season. It's been a little bit of a rough go for Lake Region. Did not play each other in the regular season.
There we go. Now they've got twin backs.
McMurray in the gun on 3rd and long, takes a snap, back to pass, looking left, now throws over the middle. It's going to be intercepted by Gray. So Gray with the pick. He cuts it outside down the far sideline, tight roping to the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown, Hornets. Stephen Gray with the pick 6 for Leavitt. And right off the bat, they lead 6-0 with 10:31 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, he really threw off his back foot on that. He was really being harassed at that moment, you know.
And he just threw it up for grabs. There was no receiver in the area, and Gray was playing free safety, basically, and playing center field, as they say, picked it off and took it back. And now he'll kick the extra point as well. Hunter Hayes, the holder. What a return also, Coach. I mean, he was along that far sideline, somehow stayed in bounds.
He ran well.
Gray's extra point is up.
It's good.
Yes, it is. It is true, and with 10:31 remaining in the first quarter, the score, Leavitt 7, Lake Region nothing.
Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. Affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. My name is Aaron Morris, alongside Coach Pete Higgins, former Levitt head coach, both at the middle school and the high school level, bringing you all the action of Levitt versus Lake Region. It's already 7-0 Levitt, 10:31 to go in the first quarter. This is the MBR game of the week, and on the radio side of things, on Maine's Big Z 27, it's the CMCC Hammond Lumber game of the week. Stephen Gray, a pick 6, and Levitt leads 7-0 after the extra point, as Gray will now kick it off. Off to a strong start. They got him to third and long. Once again, that is Brent Massey. And so he gets it out to about the 30-yard line. Not a bad return considering his early issues. And so it'll be 1st and 10 from Lake Region at their own 30. And we'll get the score updated for you on the video side of things, as I'm running a number of different things here. But it's 7-0 Levitt early on in this one on the pick 6 by Stephen Gray. So Ethan McMurray comes out in shotgun per usual, and he'll run it off right tackle, looking to get to the outside, and he has nowhere to hide. First man there for Levitt was Alan Peabody. And
good sophomore linebacker.
One of his teammates came in and helped clean up for a 2-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 12. Back to the 28-yard line for Lake Region. 7-0 Levitt leads, clock moving, 10 minutes to go in the first quarter of this Class C South quarterfinal matchup. Winner plays the winner of Cape Elizabeth and York. Cape Elizabeth going 4-4 this year, York going 3-5. McMurray.
Single slot.
Takes a snap. Fakes the handoff to one back, now gives it off to Massey up the middle.
That was a...
And a good stop that time, once again by big number 75, Riley Parmenter, the junior. He's one of their captains as well. And a couple yards on the play, but it'll bring up 3rd down.
That was their ISO play right there, the one we were talking about.
Here where they fake it to one back and give it to the other. And that time it was Massey, but he didn't have much room.
Now back to the double slot.
As McMurray takes a snap, throws far side, too high and incomplete, intended for big number 88, Isaac Holland, but it's off the mark, and they'll have to punt. So for the first time today, we're going to see Levitt's offense, as they had a pick 6 from Stephen Gray to start this one. And on the Lake Region second drive, they go 3 and out. Back deep to return is Levitt's number 21, Mark Herman, junior.
Very capable runner.
Herman standing just beyond his own 35. He'll field it at his own 40. To the 45, to midfield near side. Now 45-40, 35 to the 30. He's got near side 25-20. He's to the 10, and he's dragged down at the 5-yard line. A huge return that time by Mark Herman. It's 1st and goal, Hornets. So we'll see the offense, but maybe not for very many plays. It's going to be 1st and goal. Mark it officially at the 7-yard line, but what a return that time. That's a 53-yard return that time.
Levitt has a very capable reserve of good running backs.
It's Wyatt Hathaway, the son of head coach Mike Hathaway, the quarterback in the shotgun. His running back is Alan Peabody. Hathaway rolls to his left. He's got a wide open receiver in the end zone who catches it for a Levitt touchdown on the far side that time. Looked like Oren Shaw, the senior, on the catch for the touchdown. And with 8:55 to go in the first quarter, it's 13-0 Hornets. Extra point coming up. Oren Shaw, nice little route there, Coach.
And that's the principal's son.
Oh, very good. So we got the coach's son throwing to the principal's son for 6.
There you go.
Extra point is up, and it's good. with 8:55 to go in the first quarter. It's Levitt 14, Lake Region nothing. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Back in a moment here on 92.7 Maine's Big Z video feed at mbr.org.
Life doesn't pause when you're in pain. We understand that you want to keep up. Don't stay sidelined from making some of life's best memories. Visit the orthopedic specialists at Spectrum Healthcare Partners. We're here to keep you out there.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside former Levitt head coach Pete Higgins, bringing you the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 92.7 Maine's Big Z video feed at mbr.org with 8:55 to go in the Class C South quarterfinal. It's Levitt 14, Lake Region 0. A pick six from Stephen Gray and a nice 7-yard touchdown pass from Wyatt Hathaway to Oren Shaw. The scoring so far after a big return by Mark Herman. Here's the kickoff from Gray. It's Squiver. It's going to be a tricky one. It is fielded cleanly at the 20-yard line, bringing it out to the 30 and out across the 30 to near the 35-yard line. That time on the
21.
return was the number 1, I believe.
21. 21 was the tackle.
Oh, yeah. 21 on the tackle. That is Mark Herman. He was Ethan McMurray, the quarterback, actually returning that football for Lake Region out to the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Lakers. 8:46 remaining first quarter. The score is Levitt 14 and Lake Region 0. Strong start to this one for the Hornets. Shotgun with the back to his right. 4 wide receivers. McMurray takes a snap, looks to run, and he's got a good hold of the 45. He's to midfield, almost to midfield before a nice tackle that time. Looked like by Peabody. But Ethan McMurray, a good run for a first down to move the chains out to the 48 before Peabody brought him down.
Kind of froze the end on that one with that fake option pitch and then cut inside. Nice run.
Best offensive play of the day so far for the Lakers. 1st and 10 from their own 48. McMurray in the shotgun again with a back to his left. 4 wides. Option left. Looking to run it again, trying to get to the near side, to the edge. He gets to midfield and then is immediately stopped just across midfield. Nice tackle that time by Isaiah Bohm. First man there, number 60 in green, the sophomore. This is a young Levitt team that's really talented, aren't they?
Yeah, they are young.
Another sophomore making a play there. Not a bad run, though, certainly. About a 4-yard gain on the play will bring up 2nd down. And about 7 yards to go. Trips to the right here for McMurray. The quarterback, he likes to run it, as we've seen already. 2 runs on this drive. And he'll run it again here, just straight up the middle on the keeper. He's got a hold of the 40-yard line of Levitt. Cuts back into the middle of the field. Gray brings him down, but not before he gets all the way down to the Levitt 35-yard line. And McMurray moves the chains again. So they're having some success with the QB keeper, whether it be via the option or that time just a straight-up run up the middle. 1st and 10 at 35 for the Lakers as they're in Levitt territory, trailing 14-0 to the Hornets with 7:27 to go in the first quarter. When you have a running quarterback, we'll get to it after this play, maybe some keys to try to contain him because he's running the ball well here. Trips to the left, 4 wides. McMurray will run it again, and that time they do contain him. But yeah, Coach,
not a lot of running room.
When you face a running quarterback, though, what are some keys defensively in your opinion?
If you've got one, someone has got to be keyed in on the quarterback each play, and that's their job.
It's like a spy, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That time there wasn't a lot of room, as you mentioned. Only a 2-yard gain, just inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. 2nd down and 8 for the Lakers. They got 4 wide receivers here. McMurray in the gun will option right. He'll keep it. They were anticipating the pitch, so he got a little bit of a hole down to the 30-yard line. The end went for the back there.
Somebody came up on the pitch man, right? He thought he was going to be the pitch, and then the quarterback just cut right down. Nobody there.
If you guess right, though, you might be able to intercept the pitch and take it to the house, but the quarterback read it well and got a few yards. 3rd and 4 at the 30-yard line for the Lakers. 6:13 to go, first quarter. The back is Massey. McMurray has 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Takes a snap, he'll run it to the left again, got a block, but then a good ankle tackle that time. 50. Nicely done again by, that time the senior Cole Melanson, defensive tackle, bringing him down, shy of the first down. He didn't get much at all on that one, no gain, 4th down. This is a pretty obvious situation where you go for it, though. 4th and 4 at the Levitt 30 for the Lakers. Got to get to the 26-yard line if they want to move the chains here. The back this time is
45.
Number 45 in white. As this time they'll throw it, though, and the pass is caught. I don't think he got to the first down. He did not. The pass went to the far side on the right, and good defense by the Hornets to stop it. It was complete to his favorite receiver, number 88, Isaac Holland, but he had nowhere to go. I want to say Brandon Sargent was the running back that time, number 45. But they threw it, and it was short, so turnover on downs, and the Hornets take over. 5:18 remaining, first quarter, 14-0 Levitt. Second offensive drive of the game for the Hornets. They have it at their own 28-yard line. Hathaway puts a man in motion, and they'll run it on the sweep. Up the middle to the big end, and he's got some room to rumble when he gets all the way to the 45-yard line, a first down. That's Camden Jordan, the junior. He is a big target when they throw it, and that time he ran it for a first down.
Nice run.
That was a 17-yard run for Jordan.
They looked a little discombobulated there, Lake Region on that play.
Hathaway puts a man in motion again. They'll run the sweep to the other side. Up the middle, and this time there's not a lot of room for Mark Herman. Maybe a yard will bring up second down. 4:51 to go, first quarter. It's 14-0 in favor of Levitt.
The interior line of, or the defensive line for Lake Region is not a bad defensive line, actually. They put a lot of pressure on. Question is whether they can contain Hathaway or not.
Herman goes in motion. Hathaway will roll to his right, now settle in the pocket, and he'll be brought down in the backfield. That time he was sacked by number 55.
77 as well.
Nicholas Hall, as well as Mark Mayo, in on the stop for the Lakers. But Nicholas Hall, I thought, was the first man there. There are a number of guys, as you mentioned, pressuring the quarterback. Hathaway was trying to fake him with some pump fakes, and they stayed on him. So it's 3rd and 11 now. Hathaway takes a snap, rolls a little bit to his left, now settles down, throws, finds Jordan on the far side. He's got a first down into Laker territory before he stopped at the 40-yard line along the far sideline. But a huge gain for a first to Camden Jordan again. A big presence on offense, one big run and now a big catch.
The Lake Region defense seems to be playing very soft on the receivers.
There is plenty of room. Trips to the right here on 1st and 10 from the Lake Region 40. Hathaway takes a snap, rolls to his right, fires, and it's caught by Jordan. Jordan breaks one tackle to the 30, stiff arms a defender to the 25, still on his feet, dragging tacklers, and finally brought down along the near sideline at the 25-yard line as it took a host of Lakers to bring him down. One of them was Michael Ross, number 28, the linebacker. But Jordan, I'm not sure that pass was even intended for him. There were two Hornets in the area, and Jordan's so tall, he just jumped up and caught it.
He was the first, first guy there.
He said, it's in my general direction. I'm going to snag this one.
Yeah.
And a nice gainer for another first down. We do have a timeout called by Lake Region, so we'll take a quick 30-second break as the Hornets are driving, already up 14-0, 3:38 to go in the first quarter. Here on 92.7 Maine's Big Z, and the video feed can be found at MBR.org.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
We welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. This is the MBR Game of the Week. On the radio side of things, it's the CMCC and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 92.7 Maine's Big Z. It's 14-0 Levitt on top, 3:38 to go in the first quarter, and the Hornets have it 1st and 10 at the Laker 26-yard line. Hathaway puts a man in motion, takes a snap, now rolls to his left, going to throw. Deep wheel route. He's got a receiver who's in for the touchdown. The Hornets strike again. It's Keegan Melanson for 6. A 26-yard strike. And Levitt takes a 20-0 lead with the extra point pending. You saw that developing from a mile away.
Right, yeah. The Lake Region defender just kind of was lost on that one.
Second touchdown pass of the game for Hathaway. This time he finds Melanson, the junior wide receiver. And Gray, who has a pick 6 on defense already, on for the extra point, his 3rd attempt of the game. A little bit of a high snap. Holder gets it down, kick is up, and it's good. With 3:29 to go in the first quarter, the score, Levitt 21, Lake Region 0. Take a quick 30-second break. This is Maine's Big Z, and the video feed is at MBR.org.
The 18th annual MBR All-Star Weekend takes place November 17th and 18th at the Augusta Civic Center, presented by Spectrum Healthcare Partners. The weekend consists of the best high school basketball players throughout northern and southern Maine, squaring off from 6th grade to 12th grade. Boys and girls, get signed up now. Find more information at mainebasketballreport.com or at mbr.org. November 17th and 18th, you'll be able to watch the live stream of those games as well at mbr.org. All presented by Spectrum Healthcare Partners.
And welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside Pete Higgins, with Tyler running the camera. Alicia back in studio at our Norway studios, Maine's Big Z. This is the MBR Game of the Week. It's a CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week over on the radio side of things. It's 21-0 Levitt over Lake Region. 3:29 to go in the first quarter of the Class C South quarterfinals. Wyatt Hathaway has 2 touchdown passes, one of 31 yards, the other a 7-yard strike, and Stephen Gray has a touchdown return on defense. Gray's kick is a high, short one, fielded just shy of the 20-yard line and brought out right up the middle, out across the 30 to the 32-yard line that time by the Lakers, as on the return for Lake Region was number 24, Isaac Rawson, and he gets it out to the 32, and that's where Lake Region will start their drive. Well, Coach, from an offensive perspective, Lake Region, their previous drive was their best one in the game. They got a couple of nice runs from their quarterback,
yes,
but they haven't been able to throw the ball yet, have they?
Not really. I mean, they're in a spread run, a passing offense, but they're really running the ball most of the time.
So it's 4 wides.
Uh-oh.
And it's a little bit of confusion on defense. A late defender getting in there, but now they'll just try to run it up the middle where that defender was late getting to, and they get some nice running, and a good run, as you mentioned, for a first down up the gut that time by Brandon Sargent. Big number 45, and White gets it all the way out to the 46-yard line for a first down, as one of the Levitt defenders a little bit late getting on the field, and they just ran it right to where he was just getting settled in right up the gut. Sometimes that'll happen, just transitions between special teams and offense, as it's trips to the right, 4 wide receivers for McMurray on 1st and 10 from his own 46. McMurray will run it right up the gut this time, and he'll get a couple to the 47 before he's brought down. Bring up 2nd and 8.
They ran a nice trap on 76, but there was nobody taking care of the linebacker on that, so.
Generous spot to about the 49-yard line this time for the Lakers. 2:33 to go. First quarter. We're still in the first quarter. It's 21-0 already in favor of the top seed in Class C South, Levitt. Levitt obviously has state title aspirations. The top seed in the north is MCI, but Levitt beat MCI pretty handily this year. 4 wide receivers. McMurray will run it out of the shotgun, and he'll get it to midfield, but that's it. So a yard, if that, on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
They looked a little better on that option. Everybody was accounted for.
Jordan was the first man there. Big target on offense. Great player on defense as well. Camden Jordan, Jr., on the stop. Ball is right on the thorax of the Hornet there at midfield. A minute 43 remaining in the first quarter.
A little science in there, too. Huh?
It's third down and a short 7 here. McMurray in shotgun. 4 wide receivers. They'll just try to run up the middle, and there is nowhere to go for Brent Massey. Good stop up the gut. Jordan was in the middle of that one again for Levitt on defense. Maybe a yard, and now fourth down. They went for it on fourth down last time. They were much further into Levitt territory, down the 30-yard line. This time they're just across the midfield stripe. But it does appear they'll go for it. Why not? It's the playoffs.
If they set up in punt formation, which they're not going to do, okay?
Yeah, fourth down, about 6 yards, and Levitt wants to talk this over, or maybe give Lake Region time to think about it, and Levitt calls timeout.
They run an option out of their punt formation. Whether they will
fake
do that this early in the game.
A run-kick option, basically?
It's a run-pass option.
Oh, okay, okay.
It direct snap back to the quarterback, and he takes off. It's like a speed option, heads for the end, and then he pitches out to the kicker, who's trailing him. Now, whether they do that or not remains to be seen, but they do have that in their repertoire.
Interesting, because I was watching, I want to say it was Bonnie Eagle when they were playing Oxford Hills this year. Their punter is the running back, and so for him it's a run-kick option. He'll read the defense, and if he decides he wants to fake it, he'll just take off and run. But if he decides he wants to punt it, he'll try to punt it on the run. So a little bit different. It actually backfired once for Bonnie Eagle in that game. Oxford Hills ended up winning one of the plays. He fumbled it. He dropped the ball, and they just jumped right on it and had great field position.
The best laid plans.
Yeah. So let's see what the Lakers do here on fourth down. They're just across midfield. They got to get it just past the 45-yard line to the 44 of Levitt if they want a first down. They just line up in a 4 wide receiver set. Double slot, as you mentioned. McMurray takes a snap, now back to pass. Running to his right, under pressure, throws off bounds, intercepted by the Hornets. It's Alan Peabody to midfield. Peabody still on his feet on the far sideline and finally forced out of bounds at the 45-yard line by Brandon Sargent, but Alan Peabody with the interception and great field position set up for the Levitt offense. So they've got an interception from Stephen Gray, which was returned for a touchdown, and this time Alan Peabody with the pick. And he got them good field position. It was fourth down, so incompletion would have been a turnover anyway, but he gets them a few more yards down to the 44 of Lake Region.
He was under pretty good pressure when he threw that, too.
Yes,
yeah.
It was good pressure. I saw Cole Morin was in on the pressure. So Wyatt Hathaway in shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers on 1st and 10. Hathaway will hand it off up the middle and a few yards, and the ball might have come out. It did. It was fumbled and recovered by the Lakers. So Lake Region able to jump on the fumble. It was on the far side of the field. We saw a little bit of reaction from their sideline, which is on the far side, and we now know why, because it was fumbled and recovered by Lake Region. So a big break there for the Lakers. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 41. First turnover committed by the Hornets today. And it'll be 4 wide receivers, double slot right away for McMurray with his back to his left. Takes a snap, option left. He'll pitch it early. And there's nowhere to go that time for the ball carrier. It was Sargent on the carry, and then spinning him down for a loss was Bradley Morrow. Senior defensive end with a heck of a play, dropping him back for about a 4-yard loss. Brings up 2nd and long. 10 seconds to go, first quarter of action.
Pursuit's pretty heavy on any type of option.
Levitt up 21-0, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. We'll take a 1-minute break, back with the second quarter of action in just a moment. The score, Levitt 21 and Lake Region 0 on MBR and Maine's Big Z.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
Aaron Moore's alongside Pete Higgins, bringing you all the action. First play of the second quarter between Levitt and Lake Region. McMurray under pressure that time by Bradley Morrow, and he just throws it away along the near sideline. And that's going to bring up third down and 14 to go as the second quarter just underway. The score, Levitt 21, Lake Region nothing. Wyatt Hathaway, 2 touchdown passes today, and Stephen Gray has an interception return for a touchdown as well. For the top seed, Hornets, here in the Class C South, quarterfinal matchup with the 8th seed Lake Region. Lakers have it 3rd and 14 now from their own 37-yard line. Ethan McMurray, their junior quarterback, has 2 backs in the backfield with him.
Watch for the ISO on this one. Nope.
On 3rd and long, he'll pass it. He's under pressure. Jordan with the sack. Cam Jordan, defensive end, brings him down. Also in on the stop was number 50, Cole Melanson, I believe.
58.
Oh, 58, pardon me. Yeah, 58, that's Tommy Casey, the sophomore.
Casey,
Yep. So Jordan got the big hit, but Casey was providing a lot of pressure that time as well. 4th down. Back deep is Mark Herman, who already has a big punt return on his first opportunity of this game. He took it all the way back to the Lake Region 7-yard line. Here's the boot. Herman will field it at midfield. Mark Herman into Lake Region territory, dragging tacklers inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. It took all of Brent Massey's strength to bring him down that time. Nice return by Herman.
Tough runner.
Yeah, for sure. He didn't have a lot of room, but he just ran right through people.
He's right to the end. His feet are just always moving. Yeah, tough runner.
Down to that 38-yard line that time for Herman. All right, so Hathaway, who has 2 touchdown passes today, his running back fumbled last time, in shotgun here with 3 wide receivers.
This could be a no.
They'll just run it. There's a whistle, and the play dead before it started. On the defense. This signal, I know I've seen it before. Just hand to his chest. 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty on the Lakers. Illegal substitution.
Oh, illegal substitution, okay.
First and 5 for the Hornets.
Yeah, that's a 12-man on the field type deal, perhaps. Anyway, 3 wide receivers. Hathaway in shotgun. Same formation as before. Slot to the right, that's Jordan. Hathaway on 1st and 5, takes a snap. Run up the middle, and they'll get a few
They're
yards.
Tough. They are reasonably tough there on tackle to tackle.
Bradley Morrow, the back that time, the senior. Up the gut for a couple. 3-yard gain, 2nd and 2 now for Levitt. Morrow will go to the right of Hathaway here on 2nd down. Hathaway, as usual, in the gun. Puts a man in motion.
Jet sweep. Oh.
Fakes the jet sweep. Up the gut goes Hathaway. He's got room. He goes outside. 15 to the 10. Going for the pylon. He is in. Touchdown, Wyatt Hathaway. 31 yards. They faked the jet sweep. He ran it off right tackle. Cut to the outside and outran the defense for 6. 3rd total touchdown of the day. 2 passing and 1 running now for Hathaway personally. And it's 27-0 in favor of the Hornets. Nice fake on the jet sweep there, Coach.
Yeah, it was. He rode him. Looked for the blocking and took off.
They faked the jet sweep that time to Herman. Gray on the extra point.
Looks good.
Yep, got it again with 10:27 to go in the second quarter. The score, Levitt 28, Lake Region 0. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Back in a moment here on Maine's Big Z and MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors. We're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
On the video side of things, this is the MBR game of the week. On the radio side of things, on Maine's Big Z 92.7, it's the CMCC and Hammond Lumber game of the week. Levitt versus Lake Region, 10:27 to go in the first half. It's 28-0 in favor of Levitt. Wyatt Hathaway just ran for a 31-yard touchdown for the Hornets. Gray on the kickoff, fielded at the 12-yard line, bobbled and then picked up. Running to the far side a little bit, but not much room on the return that time for Isaac Rawson. And now Lake Region will take over 1st and 10.
Kind of unusual to have your quarterback, you know, deep on kickoff returns.
They do have Ethan McMurray back there as well.
Kind of unusual.
Saw him return one earlier. McMurray back out there at quarterback. Brandon Sargent is his running back. He's got 4 wide receivers on 1st and 10 from his own 26-yard line for the Lakers. They'll hand it off Sargent up the middle and
no go.
Yeah, nowhere to run. 3 Hornets were in the area that time. Parmenter, one of them, the junior. Very impressive player, Riley Parmenter. I remember reading about him last year. He's only a junior. I believe he had an older brother who was on the team last year.
Yes.
Yep.
Very good, yeah.
They were featured in the, I believe in the Sun Journal.
All-star choice.
And Riley Parmenter starring in the middle of that defensive line. Trips to the right here on 2nd and 12 after a 2-yard loss for Sargent. McMurray takes a snap. They'll run it up the middle. And again, not much room to run for the back. The ball carrier that time was number 24, Isaac Rawson. And he stopped after maybe a short gain there. Brings up 3rd and long. 9:16 to go in the half. 28-0 in favor of Levitt. Wyatt Hathaway, 2 touchdown passes and 1 touchdown run. A very impressive 31-yard sprint to the end zone. Off a fake jet sweep to Mark Herman, another explosive player on this Levitt team. Lake Region football, they have it 3rd and 10 at their own 26. Split backs. Looking left, McMurray going to throw it deep down the far sideline, and it's going to be incomplete. Ooh. That was almost a disaster for Levitt because it went through the hands of the defensive back who had stopped and was going for an interception. But in the end, it went through the hands of the wide receiver as well for an incompletion. So a bit of a scary play that time if you're the Hornets, but it's incomplete, and it's 4th down. And Mark Herman is back deep to return this punt from the Lakers. 8:40 remaining in the half. 28-0 Lake Region trails. And they finally get the punt off after a little bit of pressure. And he'll just let it roll, and now he's saying maybe I should try to return that one. It takes a Lake Region bounce inside the 30 down to the 29. Probably a smart play, though, by Herman, because that ball was bouncing all over. If you try to touch it, you might end up fumbling. And
yeah, it's just as well to leave it alone, yeah.
Up 28-0, you don't want to give any sort of spark to the opposition.
Absolutely.
8:28 to go in the half, and it's Hornet football again. They have not punted themselves today. Their only drive that did not end in a touchdown was the fumble.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Make sure they had 11, not 12 or 10. Hathaway has been outstanding so far, as advertised. It's got Deshaun Calder, I believe, in the backfield with them.
4-3-4. They stay in there pretty religiously.
Puts Herman in motion, fakes the handoff to Calder, and throws it out into the flat, and that is a good defensive play that time by Nick Hall.
Yeah.
He read that one perfectly to bring down the receiver for a loss.
They will occasionally drop into a 5-man front too, but 90% of the time they're in this 4.
Calder is to the right of Hathaway on 2nd down and 12. Handoff, Calder running near side, stiff arms one defender, now sprints to the 35. Near sideline, midfield, 45 to the 40. Down the sideline, and he's finally dragged down near the 30-yard line of Lake Region. A huge run, touchdown saving tackle that time by Paul Vigna, but not before Deshaun Calder, the junior, takes it deep into Laker territory. Vigna on the stop that time. Along that near sideline, he had some help from the out-of-bounds line, but besides that, no one could touch Deshaun Calder. So it's 1st and 10 from the Lake Region 33. Calder now to the left of Hathaway, and Hathaway will run it himself, near side. And he escapes one defender, now cuts it back to the right. He's got a little bit of room. He's to the 25, 20. Hathaway to the 15 before he's brought down. Huge run, Wyatt Hathaway, 1st down, Lake Region territory for Leavitt. As they keep moving that football. What a run by Hathaway.
That was quite a job by the defender. He was blocked up here once, blocked again, and then he's kept right at him. And number 24 for Lake Region. Good job.
If you're watching the video feed, just on this side, we beg your pardon if the screen goes black a couple times, just because the cables are a little tricky here, but I'll try to describe the action here as best as possible for you. In the shotgun is Hathaway, takes a snap, rolls to his left. Now under some pressure, Hathaway scrambling, still on his feet, going to throw on the run for the end zone. Back corner, he's got a man, touchdown! Touchdown, Hornets! He connects that time with Cole Morin, and Leavitt leads 34-0, 7:10 to go in the half. He just looped it right over the defender there. I'm not sure the defender realized that Morin was behind him.
Yeah, that's the other big end. Yeah.
Morin and Jordan, a couple of ends on offense and on defense, and Cole Morin, another touchdown for the Hornets. Gray on for the extra point. Snap is held, the kick is up, it's good. 7:10 to go in the half. It's all Leavitt, 35-0. We'll take a short break. 30 seconds here on Maine's Big Z video feed at MBR.org.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Aaron Morris alongside former Leavitt head coach Pete Higgins, live from Leavitt High School, the home of the Hornets. Class C South quarterfinal. This is the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 92.7 Maine's Big Z. And if you're watching on the video feed, it's at MBR.org. Update the score for you. It's 35-0 in favor of Leavitt after Cole Morin got to the corner of the end zone and Wyatt Hathaway found him for Hathaway's 3rd touchdown pass of the game. Gray to kick it off. High boot.
Nice boot, nice boot.
Strong kick to the 10-yard line where it will be returned out to the 25 and out across 25 shy of the 30-yard line by the quarterback, Ethan McMurray, on the return. Before he's brought down, as you mentioned, by number 21, Mark Herman. So, 7:03 remaining in the half. It's 35-0 Leavitt. The rules are, once the second half starts, if it's still a 35-point lead or more, it will be a running clock in the second half. And, Coach, that makes the game go very quickly, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
As a coach, I mean, when you're in the lead, that's pretty nice to have, right?
Nice to have, yeah. Nice to have.
But it's also nice for the team that's trailing just because they don't lose by maybe more than.
It's good for everyone.
In terms of morale. McMurray in the shotgun, takes a snap, looking left, throws, incomplete. It was a little bit short of intended target, Isaac Rawson that time. 6:59 remaining in the half. It's all Hornets right now, 35-0. over the Lakers. These teams did not meet in the regular season, although they had plenty of mutual opponents this year. Freiburg Academy beat them both, and Freiburg's the 2 seed in the South, so perhaps we're waiting for 11th Freiburg showdown in a couple weeks, but first things first, obviously the winner of this game plays the winner of Cape Elizabeth and York. Cape Elizabeth, an up-and-down season to say the least. They were the champions of this region last year, though, before losing to MCI in the state title game. McMurray up the middle, and there's just nowhere to go. Middle of that defensive line has some big bodies for the Hornets, and there's no gain.
Tough place to run.
Max Pelkey in on the stop, a senior defensive tackle for the Hornets. 3rd and long, 14, as McMurray goes over to the far sideline to get the play call. Lake Region had one drive where they got down to the 30-yard line of Leavitt, where they had some good runs by McMurray, but that's been about it. McMurray in the shotgun on 3rd and 14, takes a snap, option left, and he'll just run it, and still on his feet, gets out across the 30 to the 32, but well shy of the first down marker. Brings up 4th down. Cam Jordan in on the stop again. Inside 6 minutes to go, and this should be a punt, as Mark Herman, explosive return man, back deep. He'll be standing at about his own 45 here initially. Herman talking to the sidelines, figuring out where they want him exactly, just because they might not be actually punting it here. We'll see. They need 6 yards if they want a first down. And they're taking this clock down.
They better call a time if they're going to.
Yeah, they call timeout. They want to talk things over. 5:21 remaining in the half. We'll take a quick 30-second break. It's all Leavitt. 35-0 here on Maine's Big Z and your video feed, MBR.org.
Life doesn't pause when you're in pain. We understand that you want to keep up. Don't stay sidelined from making some of life's best memories. Visit the orthopedic specialists at Spectrum Healthcare Partners. We're here to keep you out there.
Aaron Morse alongside Pete Higgins, welcoming you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. This is the MBR Game of the Week. On the radio side of things, it's the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on Maine's Big Z 92.7. This is the Class C South quarterfinal matchup between Leavitt and Lake Region. The top seed Leavitt living up to their billing. They're up 35-0 with 5:21 to go in the first half. And here comes the punt. Oh, Jordan almost brings down the punter, and the punter finally gets the kick out, and they'll just let it bounce to the 40, inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. The punter for Lake Region's number 12, Paul Vigna, and he was kind of running to his right a little bit. The snap was a little wide, and Jordan almost tried to tackle him there. He missed, and he was able to get the punt off. You rarely see a punter if he's not actually faking it. I'm not sure to get tackled. You normally see, try to block the punt, but he hadn't gotten rid of it yet.
Right.
And he finally did. So in any case, Leavitt has it 1st and 10, their own 38. 5:08 remaining first half, 35-0. Wyatt Hathaway has 3 touchdown passes and a touchdown run. Stephen Gray has an interception that he returned all the way for a touchdown as well. And now Leavitt wants to talk things over, so they'll call timeout.
No, 10. I think they only had 10 guys.
Well, that would be a problem. So
10 guys on the field. That's a good time to call the timeout, yeah.
All right, quick 30-second break. Maine's Big Z, video feed, MBR.org.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All play, on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Aaron Morse alongside Pete Higgins, welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth for the Class C South quarterfinal matchup here on MBR and on 92.7 Maine's Big Z. It's our CMCC and Hammond Lumber game of the week. It is Levitt 35, Lake Region nothing. 5:08 to go in the first half. Wyatt Hathaway has it 1st and 10 for Levitt at their own 38 here. Hathaway takes the snap after putting a man in motion, rolls to his right, now cuts back to the left, still on his feet in the backfield, trying to get to the edge, and now he does to the 45 to midfield into Lake Region territory. He might have gotten hit a little bit late out of bounds there. No flag, though, and he was forced out at the 48, and that's a first down for the Hornets.
I think most of the contact was between the Lake Region players.
They ran into each other, perhaps. Yeah. But Hathaway moves the chains. He's really good when there's nothing there, kind of creating something on his own, and that's what he did there. I don't think that was a design run. That was just him finding an opening after there was no one open downfield. 1st and 10, the Lake Region 48 for Hathaway. 4:57 remaining in the half. Levitt up 35-0. Hathaway takes a snap, back to pass, rolls to his right this time, throws on the run, incomplete. Intended that time for Damian Calder, impressive junior slot receiver, but falls to the grass. 2nd and 10 coming up. This game started with an interception by Stephen Gray that he returned all the way for a touchdown, and Coach, that really set the tone, didn't it?
It certainly did. Nothing like that offensively, defensively rather, to get your team pumped.
Yeah, when the defense can score points, you're in pretty good shape. Yeah. Morrow, the back here. 3 wide receivers for Hathaway on 2nd and 10 from the Lake Region 48-yard line. Handoff Morrow up the middle, and there's a flag on the play before he's brought down after no gain, really. Flag right at the line. And you saw the hold right away.
75 kind of missed his man there and blocked up the hole, the two of them. Getting a place to go, the running back.
Yeah, look, Cole Moran, very tall out there. Number 2 in green. He towers over his teammates. Cam Jordan the same way. Those ends you talked about, the tight ends.
Right.
That time, though, the holding moves them way back. This ball is spotted at their own 42. Need to get to the 38 of Lake Region for a first down. So it's 2nd and 20. 3 wide receivers for Hathaway in the shotgun. Takes a snap, back to pass. Rolls to his right. They set up a nice screen this time for Alan Peabody. And Peabody has one man to beat, and he brings him down inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle, but not before Peabody with a huge gain on a great screen pass. Well designed, certainly. Peabody now in the backfield with Hathaway. Handoff Peabody up the middle. Peabody's got some room. Rambling down to the 20-yard line.
First down.
14-yard run and a first down. 2 straight explosive plays from the junior tailback, Alan Peabody. Now they rotate in Morrow.
Right.
To the right of Hathaway. They put Jordan in motion. A little bit of a wide snap, but Hathaway fields it cleanly. Now settles down, throws for Morin. He's got him at the 5. Morin dragging tacklers into the end zone. Touchdown, Levitt. 2nd touchdown reception, Cole Morin. It's now 41-0 with 4:05 remaining in the half. "20-yard touchdown pass, and the Hornets moving the ball with ease down the field. Extra point for Gray. A little bit of a high snap. They get it down. The kick is up. He's perfect on extra points today. It's 42-0 in favor of Leavitt with 4:05 remaining in the half. We'll take a 30-second break here on Maine's Big Z and video feed MBR.org.
Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a copy shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morris is alongside former Leavitt head coach Pete Higgins, bringing you all the action here in the Class C South quarterfinals. Here tonight, it is all Leavitt. They're up 42-0. Wyatt Hathaway has 4 touchdown passes in the first half and a touchdown run as well. They have 6 total touchdowns, 1 on defense, 5 on offense, 4:05 remaining in the half, and Gray will kick it off.
Now they've taken their quarterback out of the deep backs on the receiving team.
Yeah, he's been back there a couple times, but
not today.
Not this time.
Not this one.
As Gray will kick it off from the far hash, going right to left on the kick. Strong boot again, and that's going to go all the way in the end zone for a touchback. .405 to go in the half. First touchback on a kickoff in this game. First down and 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line for Lake Region. Lake Region has gotten it into Leavitt territory a couple times, but no further than about the 30-yard line. That Leavitt defense, they have 2 great defensive ends who also are tight ends on offense, Jordan and Morin. And they flank both sides of the line there. Hathaway on offense has been explosive. McMurray takes the snap, now the handoff up the middle, and that is really good pursuit. Looked like number 58, Tommy Casey again, I believe, on the stop. Check that, it's number 50, Cole Melanson on the stop. Yeah, 50 and 58, sometimes a little tricky. Not much room there, about 2-yard run, 2nd and 8 coming up. We've seen both Casey and Melanson make plays today, though. Melanson, one of their captains. Casey, a sophomore. McMurray takes a snap. Now he'll look to run it himself, and that time it is number 58, Tommy Casey, bringing him down.
McMurray, then the line by number 58, Tommy Casey. No gain on the play.
3rd down and 8 from their own 22 for Lake Region. 2:58 to go, 2nd quarter, 42-0, Leavitt in command here in the Class C South quarterfinal matchup.
Third and long. Boy, they're all crunching up too. All the defenders are Leavitt. They're all up tight.
McMurray's throw, his receiver fell over, and it was a short pass anyway, incomplete. Intended that time for number 88, Isaac Holland. On the coverage that time for Leavitt was Deshaun Calder, but the pass was underthrown and the receiver fell over. So, punting formation here. Standing at midfield, Mark Herman, the excellent return man for Leavitt. And this time they will try to fake it. Here's the pass. It's complete. They might have gotten it. They might have gotten it that time on the fake punt.
That's the short snap to the quarterback.
And Isaac Holland on the catch. And that is a first down for Lake Region. So you called it. They like to do that, and it worked that time. They get it out across the 30 to the 31. 2:23 remaining first half, 42-0. All Levitt, but Lake Region does fake the punt and get a first down out of it. McMurray with 4 wide receivers. Takes a snap, handoff up the middle.
Whoa.
And my, that Levitt defense
that was a green
was
wall.
not fooled, and the first man there was number 55, Brent Grant, a junior.
A loss in the play. 2nd and 11 for the Lakers.
2nd down and 11 after a 1-yard loss on that run. $1:55 remaining in the half. Levitt up 42-0. Lake Region trying to get something going before halftime. It'll be a running clock regardless in the second half with the score the way it is. Here's the snap, and up the middle goes McMurray, and McMurray tackled from behind out across the 35 to the 37. Cam Jordan brought him down. But not a bad run at all, certainly, out to the 38-yard line.
If you look at the defense, they're all within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, roughly. And they're not giving any respect to the long pass or the pass at all, really. So you break that initial line, get into the second level.
Right.
And there should be some room.
They completed that one pass on the fake punt, and I'm trying to remember if they've completed any other passes in this game. It has not had a whole lot of luck through the air. They've tried to keep it on the ground as much as possible. The running back is Brandon Sargent.
Everybody's up. Everybody's up.
On 3rd and 3, option left. McMurray keeps it, and McMurray should have a first down.
Very close.
Jordan brought him down, but he does get the yardage he needed to move the chains. However, there's only 45 seconds left in the half here. 42-0 in favor of Levitt.
Clocks are running.
Yeah, after they respot the
this could be the last
ball
play
and move the
unless it's
chains.
a pass.
Only 25 seconds left, clock ticking down, as you mentioned. Double running backs in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. They're going to throw it deep down the near side, looking for his big receiver, and incomplete off the hands of Isaac Holland. Holland had a step on the defense, didn't he? But it wasn't enough as he could not reel it in.
He did.
Holland's got good size, number 88 in white, and it was a good throw.
Yeah, it was right on the money.
Could not quite bring it in. Clock stops, 15 seconds left in the half. 42-0 Levitt. Ball spotted at the Lake Region 43-yard line, 2nd and 10. So that was a very good throw by McMurray. Holland now will line up wide to the left. 4 wides, trips to the left here.
Oh.
And the running back got a bit of a head start, and it didn't work as he's brought down right away.
I think everybody's ready.
Yeah, that's going to be the end of the half.
Yeah.
They gave it to Brennan Bass that time, and he didn't have much room. That's the end of the half. The score, Levitt 42, Lake Region nothing. We'll take a halftime break. Back in a bit. This is the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on MBR.org and 92.7 Maine's Big Z.
So the athlete is usually either sent over from their athletic trainer, from their primary care physician, or sometimes from the school directly. My goal is always to get these kids in within 24 hours from the time of their injury. There are a few reasons why they would need to go to the ER that after, if they had an injury at a game, which the athletic trainer usually takes care of. But most of the time these kids are fine enough to wait until the next day, just rest that night, and then we'll see them the next morning. So the first visit is like any other office visit we'll have. We'll have them come in, fill out the paperwork about their injury, their concussion, and kind of go through their symptoms, and then we'll do an exam, which is pretty thorough regarding their balance, their range of motion of their neck, as well as looking at their cranial nerves, any dysfunction that we can find. A lot of times it's more the, just looking at the athlete, and you can see the concussion almost in their eyes. A lot of times there's not a whole lot else on exam. that we can find, and that's good. Usually if we see something more focally, a focal neurologic defect, that's where we're getting a little more concerned. Some of these kids will recover really quickly. Other ones can take weeks and months to fully resolve. Most importantly, once again, is the physical exam and just talking to the patient. In terms of scans, it's rare that you need to do any scans, especially a CT scan. Those are more reserved for if somebody had a prolonged consciousness, or they're having worsening symptoms, or they have a focal neurologic defect. As long as they don't have those, we rarely don't do any imaging, because there's not much you're going to see. Concussion is an injury, microscopic injury to the brain. It's not something that you can see on a normal imaging study. When you're doing a CT scan, you're looking more to see if there's a bleed, which is complicating the picture. The only test that we do run is there is the impact test, which is one of the cognitive testing tools that are out there to help determine, for me, more return to play. It's not a tool that helps to necessarily, I don't use it to diagnose a concussion. It helps me to really determine if the brain has recovered and are they ready to get back to more to their sporting level. So it's really an adjunct rather than the tool. Usually if it's going on 2 weeks, we don't recommend going to PT in those first 2 weeks. We just try to get them better, because the majority of people will improve in that amount of time. If they're still having symptoms after a couple of weeks, then we'll discuss maybe getting into some rehab to see if we can hasten their recovery. That being said, when we work with professional athletes, a lot of times they are trying to get right in, they need to get back, so we are getting them into rehab sometimes right away to try to hasten their recovery as well. So the follow-up for me for concussions, once again, depends on their symptoms. After our initial visit, we'll really discuss our plan for the short term and any restrictions for school and sports. I usually have the parents contact me, usually within about a week, to let me know how the student's responding. And if they have resolution of symptoms, there's no reason to follow up. If they're still having symptoms, then I will usually discuss once again my thoughts for the next week. And if they're just not responding over a couple of weeks, that's when I usually start seeing them back. Or if I have an athlete who's been having symptoms for weeks and weeks on end, that really needs kind of a closer follow-up. We'll follow up with them quite regularly with their physical therapy to make sure that they're progressing in the right direction.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy, and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com. Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a copy shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations, or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Welcome back in on the video side of things as well here on MBR.org. We're also live on Maine's Big Z. But, Coach, first of all, I mean, first half, your former team, Levitt, your assistant here just a couple years ago, right?
Right.
So, I mean, you must be pretty proud of them. What are some observations you've had from the first half, especially from Hathaway, who's got, I believe, what, 3 or 4 touchdown passes and a touchdown run?
Right, yeah, he's doing well. And he's got a great future in front of him, you know, being a sophomore and all. And he's got a lot of kids that are young as well. They're a lot of their people are sophomores or juniors. You know, they'll lose a few this year, but not a lot.
Yeah, sophomore quarterback, you don't see that necessarily a lot in Maine. I mean, when you have a young guy like that, I mean, obviously his father trusts him there, but he's proven him right.
Yeah, they usually, a couple of things have to come together. One, you have to have a vacancy where, you know, a good senior has left or an injury somewhere along the line, and you have to have somebody underneath with some talent, and that's the way it is right now. Because they lost a senior last year,
Right.
and there's another one down below that's going to be quite good as well as Wyatt. So.
Well, actually, I want to bring that up because you coached the middle school for a long time.
Yes, I did.
When you're the middle school coach, you know, you're preparing them for high school football, right? What are some things you really emphasize in middle school to get them ready for the next level, kind of?
Well, at the time I was doing that, we tried to, of course, we had a lot of communication with the high school staff, and we wanted to emulate whatever they were doing offensively and defensively, maybe not with the intricacy that they had, but with the numbering system and everything, get them all familiar with that. And by the time the kids get into the freshman class, they didn't have to have a lot of schooling on the basics as far as the system went.
Now, does Levitt they have JV, I assume, also?
Yes, they do.
And do they have a freshman team?
Yes, they do.
Okay, guys. So a lot of development goes into it.
And there's Pee-wee, it goes, they have flag football, first, second grade, third and fourth is tackle, fifth and sixth is tackle, and then they've got, of course, the middle school program.
Right.
It's a great feeder program working right now, working its way up. So.
And shown in the results is Levitt a top seed here in Class C South, and again, they're up 42-0 here at the half. We'll take another break. We'll be coming back with your second half kick in just a bit. This is a CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 92.7 Maine's Big Z with your video feed at mbr.org.
Ortho Access is an orthopedic walk-in clinic, and it's the only one in the state of Maine. It's designed to sort of meet patients where where they are, so meet our patients and our community's needs.
I bring the patients in and I'll do the initial triage, kind of get their history of what happened, determine what body part hurts, and figure out what medications they're on, kind of their background information. Once I get that information, I'll talk with the provider and determine whether they need imaging.
I'll go in the room, examine the patient, we'll review the x-rays together, and then decide if the patient needs blood work or further imaging like an MRI, which is easy because we have MRI right here. It's very convenient for people. Or any splinting, casting, we do that all right here as well. So people tend to be pretty happy with sort of everything in one place.
We'll see fractures, so we see plenty of broken bones, and it's a lot of extremities, so a lot of foot, ankle, and wrist injuries. We see plenty of people who are coming in because they're worried that they have something big or they have a broken bone, and so we're here sort of for reassurance a lot of times that they don't.
We see tons of athletes right off of the field. A lot of the local athletic trainers are really good about sending their patients right here instead of sending them to the emergency room, and saving them a wait, which is nice. And they can kind of get everything all at once. They can get their x-rays, they can get a brace or a cast if they need it, instead of having to go to multiple different locations.
So the youngest patient I've seen, I think, is probably 18 months. And then I think I've seen a 99-year-old in ortho access. So you can imagine they're coming in with really different problems. Might be a slip on the ice. We've seen a ton of that recently. Or it might be they were at the trampoline park, twisted their ankle, or it might be a football injury where they fell and twisted their knee. We cut out the middleman, so to speak, so they could get right into OA, get x-rays if they need that, and either get the treatment that they need right off the bat or kind of high-level triage and get them to the next best provider who really should see them.
So usually we are the busiest right when we open, and then later on in the day it usually slows down a bit and the wait time is significantly less. We've had people start at the ER and they have left because they're so frustrated and come here and are in and out within an hour, which is nice.
It does feel good. I mean, patients say, wow, this is great. This is a lot better than sitting in the waiting room in an emergency room where usually there's a ton of orthopedic issues that come into ERs and most of them are not going to be urgent. So they're going, naturally they're going to be waiting a longer period. So yeah, it does feel good.
Hi, I'm Eric Brakey, running for U.S. Senate. I approve this message, and unlike my opponent, I don't have $5 million, so I'm going to have to talk fast. This is New Gloucester, where my family goes back 5 generations. This is my family business where we help people save money. In Augusta, I cut taxes and reformed welfare. We got to get Washington off our backs and create some more good-paying jobs. Keep our kids here in Maine. Fix health care. Local control.
Eric Brakey won't slow down, and he'll never stop fighting for Maine. Vote Eric Brakey November 6th.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
The 18th annual MBR All-Star Weekend takes place November 17th and 18th at the Augusta Civic Center, presented by Spectrum Healthcare Partners. The weekend consists of the best high school basketball players throughout northern and southern Maine, squaring off from 6th grade to 12th grade. Boys and girls, get signed up now. Find more information at mainbasketballreport.com or at mbr.org. November 17th and 18th, you'll be able to watch the live stream of those games as well at mbr.org. All presented by Spectrum Healthcare Partners.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. We got about a minute 30 until the kickoff of the second half here between Leavitt and Lake Region. Aaron Morris with you alongside Pete Higgins. We got Tyler running the camera. Alicia back in our Maine's Big Z studios. This is the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 92.7 FM, Maine's Big Z, and the video feed can be found at MBR.org. The score at halftime is Leavitt 42, Lake Region nothing. Wyatt Hathaway, by my count, has 4 touchdown passes.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, and 1 touchdown run.
Right, and then the interception.
And then the interception return was all the scoring.
Yeah.
So that's 5 total touchdowns. If you have Wyatt Hathaway on your fantasy football team, you're winning your matchup this week. He has been outstanding, certainly in this one. The sophomore quarterback for Leavitt, but it was all started by Stephen Gray, the interception return for a touchdown on the first drive of the game by Lake Region, and that immediately set the tone for Leavitt, up 42-0 in this one, and Leavitt will get the football to start the second half. So we will have a running clock. The running clock is, if you're up by 35 or more in the second half, there's a running clock. It only stops on touchdowns or scoring plays, I should say, if there's an injury or if someone calls timeout, basically, in the running clock situation. So, teams are out on the field. Leavitt will return the kickoff for the first time today, as they kicked off to start this game and did not surrender any points in the first half of action. It's back deep for Leavitt. Appears to be Garrett Jabush, along with number 23 in green. That's Jaden Banks as well. Ball fell off the tee, so they're resetting it right here. About ready to get underway in the third quarter of action. Aaron Morse alongside Pete Higgins. Again, the winner will play the winner of Cape Elizabeth and York. Cape Elizabeth, 4-4 year, but they were winners of this region last season, so you never know what to expect there if they can get past York. So, getting ready to kick it off is Paul Vigna for the Lakers. And the second half of action.
Oh, that's a bullet.
Is underway here at Leavitt High School. And returning it to the 40, and just out across the 40 that time is Garrett Jabush on the return. 1st and 10, Leavitt. Nick Hall brought him down. So, 1st and 10 for the Hornets at the 44-yard line to start things off.
Okay, some new faces here.
Yeah, they second unit perhaps here.
Yeah, this would be the seconds, yeah.
So, the quarterback is Hunter Hayes, not the singer, I don't think. Hunter Hayes in shotgun takes a snap. We have a whistle and a flag on the play.
He's the holder on the extra kicks.
Hunter Hayes is a freshman, and he's getting some playoff experience as a freshman. His back is Logan Gerard, a junior. The penalty was on the defense to the 49-yard line, a 5-yard penalty. We saw that happen in the first half also to Lake Region. And the clock keeps ticking. Inside 11 minutes to go, third quarter. So Hunter Hayes, the quarterback, in the shotgun.
Pretty good little quarterback.
Handoff up the middle, breaking one tackle and getting to near midfield is Morrow. So we saw Morrow certainly in the first half. We see him again here in the second. He's kind of the backup to Alan Peabody, although they rotate pretty evenly, seems like. Morrow in the backfield with Hayes. So Wyatt Hathaway's day probably is done, although you never know. Hayes with an empty backfield, basically. Puts a man in motion, and on the sweep, they'll run it near side.
Nice blocking, nice
45,
blocking.
cuts back to the 40, still on his feet, 35, inside the 35-yard line, Jaden Banks. Big run for Banks.
Nice run.
And you like the blocking on that one, it sounded like, for sure. Got down inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, a first down.
Freshman.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Freshman already, it looks like he knows what he's doing out there for sure. Coming up through that excellent middle school program here at Levitt.
That's pretty much the varsity for Lake Region out there at this moment.
Hunter Hayes in the gun. Up the middle, Morrow. And Morrow has nowhere to go that time. Stopped on the play by number 28, Michael Ross, a linebacker. Freshman linebacker Michael Ross on the stop. 9:25 to go, third quarter. It's 42-0 in favor of the Hornets. And they have their second unit pretty much in the game, led by freshman quarterback Hunter Hayes. Hayes has two wide receivers here. Well, actually three wide receivers. And he'll keep it himself after he faked the handoff. Hunter Hayes cuts back, middle of the field, inside the 30, down near the 25.
Nice game.
Stopped around the 26-yard line. About an 8-yard run there. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Defense is still playing very soft on these wide outs. And Hunter throws the ball pretty well, so I don't think they'll do a lot of throwing at this point. But
Hayes with Morrow, I believe, in the backfield with them. Takes a snap. Handoff, Morrow. Morrow cuts to the outside, trying to get to the edge, and he does get the first down. He stopped shortly after that, but a nice little run there by Bradley Morrow, the senior. Moves the chains for the Hornets with 8:12 remaining in the third quarter, and Levitt up 42-0. Morrow in the backfield with Hayes, standing to Hayes' right. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right. Hayes takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, stiff arms a defender, throws on the run, a little short, incomplete. He was looking for his slot receiver, Logan Gerard, but came up a little bit short on that one. Nice stiff arm, though, in the backfield by the freshman.
I love it.
He was not going to be brought down there. I always flash back to remember the Titans where the quarterback stiff arms the guy and they want to call unnecessary roughness and the ref's like, on the quarterback, please. Hayes in the shotgun here. A couple receivers in tight. Put a man in motion, that's Gerard. Yeah, jet sweep to Gerard, outside to the near outside. He's in for the end zone touchdown. He just kept going. I kept expecting him to get hit. He did not get hit. Untouched. Logan Gerard on the far sideline.
Wow.
Takes it in from 23 yards out. Junior slot back for the touchdown.
Got some wheels, that boy.
Some explosiveness. I kept expecting someone to get a hand on him. I knew he definitely had a first down, then he just kept going untouched on the far sideline for a touchdown. It's 48-0 with the extra point now coming up for the Hornets. So the second unit looking pretty impressive on that drive. They're going for 2 here. Morrow will run it, and Morrow is in. He converts the 2-point conversion and give them an even 50. It is 50-0 in favor of Levitt, as on a score, the clock will keep going here.
Oh yeah, this is running all the way.
Yeah. I think it scores, maybe it stops after the initial touchdown perhaps, and then restarts. I'm not sure. In any case, they'll keep ticking down. We'll keep it right here as they'll probably kick it off fairly soon. 6:12 remaining in the third. It's 50-0 Levitt, and that time, very impressive run by Logan Gerard, scampering down that far sideline, and then Morrow punched it in for 2. Gray will still handle the kickoff. He's made all his extra points. Levitt well on their way, as they need to set the tee at the proper yard line. Now they do. Levitt well on their way to a date with either Cape Elizabeth or York in the semifinals coming up a week from tonight, and that will be right here at Levitt High School. They have home field advantage all the way until the state title game, which will be at Fitzpatrick Stadium on November 17th against the winner of Class C South, or pardon me, Class C North. We are in the Class C South here. All right, Gray's kick Fielded, bobbled and kicked around. This could be recovered by Levitt. Levitt saying they have it, and they do. Levitt recovers the fumble. It was recovered by number 23, Jaden Banks, on the recovery. It was literally kicked by the Lake Region return man upfield, and Banks fell on it at the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for Levitt. $50-0 the score, and great field position for Hunter Hayes and company. Hayes, 3 wide receivers here. His back is Morrow. And he takes the snap, rolls to his left, looking to throw. Throws deep down the far side, but it's incomplete. Intended that time for, I believe, Keegan Melanson. But falls incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10. Aaron Morse alongside Pete Higgins. We've got Tyler running our camera here on site. Alicia back in studio at Maine's Big Z. It's 50-0 Levitt here in the Class C South quarterfinals against Lake Region. Levitt has their second unit in the game here in the 3rd quarter. They put a man in motion on the sweep. They'll run it, and good defense that time, but maybe a face mask.
Hit.
Or a late hit, right.
Looks,
Brent
could have been a face
Grant,
mask.
pardon me, number 55, Nick Hall on the stop. There's a flag. I think it was either a face mask or a late hit. Face mask.
Face mask.
Yeah,
Yep.
personal foul, face mask. Because the flag kind of came in when the play was still going. I'm like, I don't think they might have grabbed him there. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty, and as a result, it'll be a 1st down on the personal foul. Ball now inside the 20, down to the 18. The back is going to be Bradley Morrow again. Hayes with Morrow to his right. He's got Melanson split out wide to the near side. Morrow run it far side, try to get around the end, and he does. Now tries to get to the edge, and he does. Morrow for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown.
34.
Pardon me, Garrett Jabush, not Bradley Morrow. 34. Good call. Good call, Coach. Garrett Jabush on the carry.
Nice run.
Jabush for the touchdown, not Morrow. Nonetheless, a nice run by the junior tailback. It's 56-0. I'm so used to Morrow getting carries. This time it's Jabush. 56-0, 3:01 remaining. The clock does not stop for touchdowns. I thought it did, but it does not. All right, Hayes with an empty backfield. Puts a man in motion, and they'll run it, and this time they do not convert the 2-point conversion. That was a good tackle in the backfield by the Laker defender. As the 2-point conversion, no good. So the score 56-0 with 2:30 remaining. We'll take a quick 30-second break here on Maine's Big Z and video feed at MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside Pete Higgins. It is 56-0 Levitt after the touchdown. And they have their backup kickoff man in now, as I didn't know you had.
Oh, it's going to go out.
Yeah, Jaden Banks didn't get much on that one, unfortunately. It totally go out of bounds, and it'll be Lake Region football in good field position here. Well, credit some great running by Levitt. Go ahead, what is it? Oh.
I was just looking at the coach now.
Oh.
He says, make the clock go.
Oh, yeah, they're like, it's cold.
Yeah.
We want to go home. No, but credit Garrett Jabush with a great touchdown run. Logan Gerard has one as well. Some of the guys who, get playing time but aren't necessarily starters for this team, showing off their wheels. Minute 20 remaining in the third quarter. 56-0 Levitt. And this is the first offensive possession, as you pointed out during the break, of the half for Lake Region, because they turned it over on the kickoff. McMurray hands it off, and they'll get a yard. Bring up 2nd and 9. In on the stop looked like number 77, Trevor LaFrance, senior, for Levitt. Inside 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Hornets well on their way to a semifinal matchup with either Cape Elizabeth or York. See who wins tonight between those two squads.
Ho, ho, ho.
McMurray going to go for it all. Down the far sideline, deep ball, incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd down. He was going again for his big target, Isaac Holland. Just hasn't had much luck connecting with him today. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 9. They may not get another playoff, though, before we go to the fourth quarter. 5 seconds left here. They will not. Well, tonight it's been all Hornets. Very impressive so far. We're through 3 quarters, 56-0 Levitt here on Maine's Big Z and MBR.org. Take a 1-minute break. Be back in a bit with your fourth quarter of action.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet. Life doesn't pause when you're in pain. We understand that you want to keep up. Don't stay sidelined from making some of life's best memories. Visit the orthopedic specialists at Spectrum Healthcare Partners. We're here to keep you out there.
Welcome back into Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Fourth quarter is underway. McMurray on a keeper on the first play from scrimmage, and he got it to the 40-yard line, and that brings up 4th down and 5. Your fourth quarter video stream on MBR is brought to you by Maine Athletic Fundraising. Find them at MaineAthleticFundraising.com and start raising the funds you need for your team today. It's 4th and 5 for Lake Region, trailing 56-0 to Levitt here in the Class C South quarterfinals. And McMurray will run it up the middle, and what a tackle in the backfield. Number 51 in green, that is Ben Stone, and he stoned him at the line of scrimmage, the junior.
Stonewall.
With a nice tackle. And he'll get some congratulations back on the sideline for that stop. Turnover on downs, Levitt football with 10:45 remaining in this one. And just an overwhelming display of force from Levitt. Third quarter with their second unit, they got a pair of touchdowns as well. 56-0. Hunter Hayes again, and it is Garrett Jawbush in the backfield. Jawbush had a touchdown run in the third quarter. Hayes takes the snap. Hayes will run it near side, and he'll get a couple yards before he's driven back by 3 Lake Region defenders. First man there is being blocked by one of his teammates right now. But I believe that was number 36 in white, if I'm not mistaken, although they don't have a 36 on here, so. In any case, nice tackle by that kid. Might have been 76. That's Noah Neal. In any case, Hunter Hayes, 2nd and 10 after no gain.
Coming hard, coming hard.
It's a man in motion on
nice
the
block
sweep.
by the quarterback.
Yes, it was, and they get a few yards down to 35.
Yards, yeah.
Yep. That time on the sweep, it was Driscoll. Driscoll, I believe.
33, right?
So Jobbush in the backfield with Hayes on 3rd and 7. Takes the snap, handoff Jobbush running near side, trying to get to the edge. Stiff arm to the defender. Oh, he brought him down. Good tackle that time by Brent Massey. Even though he got stiff armed, he stayed with it and brings down Jobbush. Bring up 4th down at the 35-yard line of Lake Region. 4th and 7, 8:55 to go in the game. 56-0 in favor of the Hornets. We just heard Cape Elizabeth is up 26-7 on York. So it may be a showdown between the 1 and the 4 seed next week. New QB in for Levitt here, Ben Soroy, a freshman. And he is able to complete it.
Pretty close.
Close to a first down on 4th down. The pass complete to Logan Gerard on the far side. And he did not get it. He is short. So Lake Region will take over on downs, but a good play nonetheless, I think. Especially when it's your 3rd-string quarterback. Soroy there rolling to his right. The freshman completing that pass to Gerard. But Lake Region does stop us short of the sticks and take over on downs with 8:01 and counting remaining in this one. Ethan McMurray, the junior quarterback, will stay in the game for Lake Region. Starting at their own 29-yard line.
Trips right.
Trips to the right here, as you mentioned, 4 wide receivers. McMurray, they're still looking to run the ball up the middle, and
fumble again.
Yeah, the ball might have come out.
I think they recovered it.
They did. They were able to fall on it. Ball carrier that time. Yeah, they have a few players missing on this roster, so I apologize. I thought it was 33, but then you look at their roster, they don't have a 33. So sometimes that happens. They dress some extra guys for the playoffs. McMurray in shotgun here. 4 wide receivers, and they'll run it up the middle. And
oh, no.
Not much room, certainly. So 3rd down, out across 35 to the 36-yard line. Isaac Rawson, the running back that time, the sophomore. Rawson in the backfield. 4 wide receivers for McMurray on 3rd down and somewhat short. They'll run up the middle again. Rawson, and he fights his way
close.
Close, as you mentioned, but maybe a yard short. They might have to measure, though. They signal 1st down.
1st down.
Yep. I thought they were going to measure it, but the official came up to the ball and knew pretty quickly he wanted to signal 1st down. They got to the 39-yard line. They needed 3 yards. They got exactly 3 yards. Bring up 1st down and 10. McMurray in the gun, trips to the right on 1st and 10. Rawson the tailback. McMurray to pass, rolls to his right under some pressure, and he escapes and steps up in the pocket and throws incomplete. Got hit while he threw.
Nice pressure. For 2nd team line, that was nice pressure.
I love it. I love Tommy Casey here on the near side. He was so hyped up for his teammates on that defensive front, pressuring the quarterback there. Even with only 5 minutes left and a 56-0 score, he was in it. He was into it. Levitt up 56-0 with now an even 5 to go. 4 wide receivers for McMurray. Takes a snap. Up the middle they go, and the tackle that time made by Ben Stone, as Rawson was the ball carrier and Stone brought him down. He got a yard maybe on that one. Maybe 2. Bring up 3rd and 8. 4:28 to go, 56-0. Levitt had a couple touchdowns in the third quarter as well. Now McMurray will run to his left. They've had their most success when McMurray's able to get to the outside into the second level, and he gets across the 45 and out of bounds shy of the first down, but they have 4th and 3 coming up here at the 46. They get to midfield, it'll be a first down here. The first down marker is just shy of midfield. 4th down coming up, 3:50 to go in the half or in the game. McMurray will roll to his right, under some pressure, escapes, and he's going to be tackled right near the first down marker, but I don't think he got there. Good effort by McMurray, but flying in there was Ian Ledbetter and a couple other Levitt defenders as well. He did not get there. Nicely done by the defense. Turnover on downs, 3:24 remaining, 56-0 Levitt. And this, I mean, even though it's, you know, obviously all Levitt, this is great experience for the backups, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it doesn't hurt to get them groomed a little bit, you know, and someone can go down, be an injury, and get some kid who had a little experience, perhaps, you know.
Playoff experience on a cold night in late October here. Although this press box is nice to be in on a night like this, I think. Certainly. You're used to being on the sidelines, I know.
Well, or up there.
Or up top, right, on top of the press box. Put a man in motion. They'll run it on the sweep.
Nice
Cutting
cut,
to the 45, inside the 45. Goes, I believe, Manuel Driscoll, a freshman.
24.
Yep, Manuel Driscoll on the run. Got it inside the 45, down to the 44-yard line. 4-yard run, 2nd and 6 coming up. 2:19 remaining, 56-0 Levitt. As we mentioned, Cape Elizabeth winning by a fair amount right now over York. As Soroy, the 3rd-string quarterback, hands it off. And there's just, that did not have much going from beginning.
Helmet to helmet.
Yeah, they were swarming the ball. The whistle hadn't blown yet, so that's the only issue with that. But Driscoll on the carry that time, the junior. Not much room. He basically got tackled right when he got the ball. And then Lake Region defenders kept coming and coming. As you mentioned, that one guy came flying in kind of late.
Yeah.
But they hadn't blown it dead yet, so.
Well, it's all right.
Yeah. It's Jawbush who has a touchdown run in the backfield. Soroy will take the snap here out of shotgun. Puts a man in motion. They'll fake the sweep. Soroy will keep it. Running outside. He got a block. And is then swarmed and stopped shy of the 40-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down with 1:10 remaining in the game. 56-0 in favor of the Hornets. Inside a minute now. As Soroy
50 seconds.
We'll go for it here on 4th and 4 in Lake Region territory at the 42. Soroy puts a man in motion. Oh, he fumbles the snap, picks it up at midfield, will run for his life, and get brought down back at the 49-yard line. Tackle on the play by Bill Austin. And that'll be a turnover on downs.
I think that may be it.
That might be it with 24 seconds in the clock continuing to move in the running clock situation at 56-0 in favor of Levitt.
That's the game.
Yeah, I don't think they'll run another play here.
No, they're going off the field at this point.
So the Hornets, they showed why they're the top seed in Class C South. They win it by a final score of 56-0 over Lake Region on this Friday night at Levitt High School. Wyatt Hathaway, 4 touchdown passes and a touchdown run, and that was all in the first half. He didn't even play in the second half. The star sophomore quarterback for Levitt. And they'll face the winner of Cape Elizabeth or York a week from today. We'll take a quick break, come back, and wrap things up here live from Levitt High School on Maine's Big Z and video feed at MBR.org.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Final score here tonight from Leavitt High School, 56-0 in favor of the home team. The Hornets are moving on to the Class C South semifinals a week from tonight. They'll play the winner of Cape Elizabeth and York. At last check, as we mentioned, Cape Elizabeth was winning by a couple of touchdowns in that game. Not sure how familiar you are with Cape Elizabeth necessarily this year, but I know they've been up and down at 4-4. But Leavitt looks like a team that's ready to advance all the way possibly to Portland, right?
I think they are.
Yeah.
I think they are. Cape will be tougher than Lake, but I think you're going to end up with the same kind of ending.
Possible.
Maybe not the score, but I think Leavitt looks pretty tough at this point.
And their lone loss this year was to Freiburg, and they are on this side of the bracket, the 2 seed. What do you know about Freiburg?
I was at the game, and Freiburg is very tough defensively. They're a very good defensive team, and you can't give them any breaks. They have one kid in particular, a linebacker, number 50. I don't know his name, but he's the best linebacker I've seen this year. He's all over the field. The kid is great. Quarterback's good. They're a tough team. I don't think anybody scored more than 7 points on them this year, with the exception of Lisbon in the first game when they had some hurt people and people missing.
Well, Leavitt, you know, they had 28 against MCI in the opener, 46 against Yarmouth. They had 42 against Cape Elizabeth. They had 50 against York. They had 25 against their next opponent after that. They did get shut out, as you mentioned, by a great Freiburg defense. 49 against Morse and 27 against Gardner. So these 56 points, the most points they've scored in one game this season. 56-0 Leavitt winners. Thanks to Pete Higgins for joining me on the broadcast tonight. Thanks to Tyler running camera. Thanks to Alicia back in studio. Pete, any final thoughts before we sign off?
It's been a good experience.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
A lot of fun.
Thanks to Maddie B as well, our executive producer, if you will, of these broadcasts. My name's Aaron Moore, signing off. Once again, the final score, Leavitt 56, Lake Region nothing, here on MBR and Maine's Big Z. Have a good night.